The Vancouver Canucks introduced Manny Malhotra as their 23rd head coach, and the message was clear. The era of chaos is over. While previous regimes thrived on the noise and sound bites, Malhotra just brought a level of calmness to Rogers Arena that we haven't seen in years. Today we're breaking down his plan for Elias Pettersson, the reality of this rebuild, and the one question about his son Caleb that he absolutely handled like a pro. Is this finally the man to stop the coaching carousel in Vancouver? Let's dive right into it. We're going to start off by taking a look at an article from our friends over at Canucks Army, and then we'll go into some clips of Manny talking, and I will kind of give my thoughts on them and whatnot. But let's dive into the article first. This one written by our buddy J. Pat. And he says the biggest takeaway from Manny Malhotra's introductory press conference is that there really wasn't one. And that's, of course, by design. That is in no way a knock on the new head coach. It's simply a recognition that Malhotra's first public comments in his new post fell in lockstep with what was said at the rollout of Daniel and Henrik Sedin as co-presidents and Ryan Johnson as the new GM a few weeks ago. There has been a sense of calmness presented that sits in stark contrast to the disarray and confusion that has reigned in the organization for the past few seasons. Of course, past president of hockey ops Jim Rutherford operated in a state of chaos. That's just how he preferred to conduct his business. He was honest, oftentimes a little too honest, and that frequently made for incredible sound bites, but at the same time, he had a knack for putting those around him in uncomfortable situations, aka Quinn Hughes. And while it seemed Adam Foote had a firm belief in the systems he wanted his team to employ, messaging to the players and the media alike often tripped him up. We all remember the old, what was it, cashews and cigarettes line that he threw out? Oh, my. We are not going to hear that from Manny Malhotra. I can guarantee you that. And turning the page from one of the darkest periods in Canucks history, it's clear an emphasis has been placed on saying the right things now, and then backing those words up with actions once the team hits the ice next fall. And personally, I feel as though the Sedins, Ryan Johnson, and Manny Malhotra will in fact back those words up. Well, 100%. I'm not concerned about that whatsoever. Malhotra has an ease and self-assuredness about him, and that was on full display at Rogers Arena on Thursday morning when he had his, press conference. Not known for his finesse during his playing days, the 46-year-old managed to artfully stick-handle his way through questions about his son Caleb. Two, actually. I said one earlier, but two. We're only going to cover one, though. Trying to get through to Elias Pettersson and acknowledging that there are going to be a lot more losses than wins in the early portion of his tenure behind the bench, something that was echoed by Ryan Johnson in his press conference when he was introduced as the new general manager. Undaunted by the challenge, Malhotra, of course, articulated the ways that he believes he can impact the Canucks in his first season as head coach. I think one thing we experienced in Abbotsford was that the commitment to the daily improvement was something that helped our group get to where we did. Malhotra said, I think that was one of the major reasons why this is such a special opportunity. For me and our coaching staff, it will be about those daily incremental improvements. Today's practice needs to look better than yesterday's practice. The level of execution needs to be better than it was yesterday. By developing that mindset with the guys, you now start to see individual growth. You now see collective growth in the group, and that's where we'll start to take strides. The opportunity to instill those things from day one is what really excites me. Of course, Malhotra understands the challenge ahead. He knows he's inheriting a roster that struggled to score and to defend, one that had trouble killing penalties, and of course, as we all know, rarely won at home. He knows that most of the returning veterans are coming off down seasons and that there is plenty of work to do with the young players to help them reach their full potential. It's going to be a slow process, and it's going to start by trying to lay a framework for success by putting a stamp on things that are within his control. I'm excited knowing what the vision is from RJ and Hank and Danny to where we need to get to, and implementing those types of things I truly believe in. He explained it's the energy and the body language that comes into the arena, that the guys come into the arena with every day. By the way, I absolutely love that part of the quote, the body language, something we have not heard. Those are so important for creating culture and creating that environment that guys are going to thrive in. You have to show up here in the right frame of mind with the right body language. That for me sets the tone for the day. Another part of it for me is giving guys a very clear understanding of what these words mean to us and how they apply on the daily. What is our standard about what does compete mean to us? What does accountability look like on a daily basis? And on the bench, I think implementing that level of understanding of what these words are going to mean to our group will give us a much clearer path as to how we're going to navigate this and get out of it. Absolutely love it. Now, granted, I did pay quite a bit of attention to the Abbotsford Canucks during the Calder Cup run. And do you guys remember those like videos where they had, the players strung up to the arena? A good, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but a good majority of them, you saw the players coming in with a smile on their face. And if you go back and look at those videos, look at their body language. This is exactly what Manny Malhotra is talking about. Now, while Malhotra was short on specifics when it came to the X's and O's, he did offer up that he wants to play an up-tempo style, which is one of the clips that we'll look at, which may be easier said than done with the players he has to work with, or perhaps that was his first public lobbying to management as well as ownership that the roster he has is in need of significant change. Who knows? And here's their clip of that high tempo that we will take a look at over on X. Whatever the case, as introductory press conferences go, Manny Malhotra was thoughtful and engaging and left an early impression that the Vancouver Canucks are in good hands, and I believe that 150%. He spoke with the confidence of someone who has assurances from the organization, top to bottom, that he won't be burdened by expectations in the early going of his tenure, at least not when it comes to producing victories. Something that was echoed, of course, by Ryan Johnson in his press conference when he was announced as the new GM. After mowing through 4 coaches over the past 5 seasons, the Canucks want to put an end to that churn. The hope is that Manny Malhotra is indeed the right person for the job now and for many, many years to come. No pun intended, by the way. So there's the article. I will leave a link to it in the description down below. You guys can check it out yourselves and also listen to that clip that's attached to this. But let's head over to X. Let me just share this real quick. And the first clip we're actually going to look at is Ryan Johnson introducing him as, the next head coach. Let me just add my disclaimer here. And again, if I get copyrighted for this, I'll just redo the video and just have, the clips out. But hopefully I do not get copyrighted for this. But let's go ahead and check this out. I'm actually going to zoom in on this so you guys can actually see. So we are going to start at the beginning.
And today it's an honor for me to introduce to you the 23rd head coach in the history of the Vancouver Canucks, Manny Malhotra.
Thanks, RJ. I just have a few quick thank yous. I'm going to
Here, let me redo that. There we go.
For me to introduce to you the 23rd head coach in the history of the Vancouver Canucks, Manny Malhotra.
Thanks, RJ. I just have a few quick thank yous. I'm going to start with, instead of using the line last and certainly not least, I'm going to start with this thank you to my incredible wife, Jo, and my 4 kids. A decade ago, when we decided that we were going to go down this coaching lifestyle path, we did so with the understanding that there would be some uncertainty, there would be some moving, which is not an ideal scenario for a young family with 4 kids. But we did so anyways. And their love and support and sacrifice motivated me and got me to where I'm sitting today. And that brings us to today. The next thank you, I'd like to thank the Aquilini family for this incredible opportunity and entrusting me with the responsibility to coach the Vancouver Canucks. I know what this team means to the family. I know what this team represents in the community throughout BC, and I know what it means to Canuck fans all over the world. And it's not a decision that you make lightly. And again, grateful for this opportunity. Henrik and Daniel Sedin, and obviously the architect, Ryan Johnson, for believing in me and believing in my ability to help lead and guide this team to a place that we believe we can get it to. And by implementing and executing on those daily things that we feel are so instrumental to building a sustainable and successful culture, I'm humbled and honored by your guys' decision to make me the coach in Vancouver. And now this being the third day in this role, with the first 2 days.
I just want to quickly say, should that be RJ's new nickname now, the Architect? Not gonna lie, I kind of like it, but we'll continue.
Is primarily consisting of returning congratulatory text messages and well wishes, which again is a very humbling experience, knowing how many friends and family and former players and former coaches still are supporting me and cheering for me from afar. Was a special experience. So now, this being day 3, I can honestly say I'm extremely excited to get to work on the hockey aspect of things, and start this vision.
All right, there we go. Great stuff from Manny. Would not be surprised, and I'm going to give him a little shout out here in this. Would not be surprised if one of those text messages was from our good buddy Brandon Astol. We are going to try and get Brandon on hopefully soon, and I want to talk to him about Manny. But let's look at the next clip. Let's see if I can find something here. Yeah, it was this one. This is just Manny talking about how special it is to coach the Vancouver Canucks. And I absolutely love this little bit from Manny. So let's check it out.
This, but if you look back to your playing years with this team and then, of course, all your years of coaching, what does it mean to take this next step with this organization specifically?
Well, for me, it's an extremely special one. Vancouver and this organization have a very special place in my heart. All my kids were born on the West Coast. As a player, being a part of some very special years here, playing alongside some incredibly special players, some Hall of Fame players. There's that element to it. There is the element of knowing how passionate the fans are here about their Canucks, and knowing that it matters here. Hockey matters to these people, and they want to see a product that is deserving of their approval and their fanship. And lastly, and most importantly, or I shouldn't say most importantly, but a major factor in it is the fact that I have an opportunity to come back here and work with such great people. Henrik, Daniel, RJ, the fact that we are so aligned in the way we see things, from an on-ice product to the off-ice daily messaging to the way people should be treated. We're very much in sync with that. So it's a great opportunity for those and a whole host of other reasons to be back in this organization.
Yeah, see, we're hearing the same things we heard from Daniel and Henrik, as well as Ryan Johnson. We're hearing the exact same thing. We're hearing consistency between the three of them, and I absolutely love it. By the way, obviously that question was asked by Olivia McDonald, and if you guys haven't checked it out yet, check out her one-on-one with Manny Malhotra. It's up on the Canucks YouTube channel. It's a great one-on-one chat, and she does ask this question in that one, but it's great. I highly recommend checking it out, so go ahead and check that out over on YouTube. But let's take a look at our next clip. And this is the daily increments that we talked about in the article. We're going to actually hear from him himself about it. So let's...
where this team is in its competitive cycle right now. So
and this one is actually asked by our JPAT.
No surprises in that regard. I'm just wondering about the opportunities or challenges, I suppose, of taking over a last place team. And how do you think you can most impact improvement of this group this coming season?
I think one thing that we experienced in Abbotsford was that the commitment to the daily improvements was something that helped our group get to where we did over the course of the year. And I think that is one of the major reasons why this is such a special opportunity. You've heard RJ talk about developing and building that foundation of what this group needs to be about and harping on that same messaging every day. For me and our coaching staff, it'll be about those daily incremental improvements. Today's practice needs to look better than yesterday's practice. The level of execution needs to be better than it was yesterday. And I think by developing that mindset with the guys, you now start to see individual growth, you now see collective growth in the group, and that's where we'll start to take strides. So yeah, the opportunity to instill those things from day one are one of the things that really excites me.
Love it. And as I mentioned with the whole, Abbotsford, them doing those little videos of them arriving to the arena, smiles on their faces, looking like they're, having a good time. Hopefully we see some of those this upcoming season. But I wanted to take a look at this one in particular, because I found this one to be quite interesting. And this is him talking about what he looks for in a captain. Obviously, he was asked about who will be the
process
captain.
and the fact that you have a lot of guys you could look at. It might be a collective thing when you get to training camp. I'm curious what you look for in a captain, Manny. In Abbotsford, you had Chase Wooters for 4 years. Maybe it wasn't your best player.
Chase Waters, not Wooters.
Maybe your most inspirational player. What do you look for in a captain?
I think a captain kind of emerges from the group based off of a lot of those fundamental things, their body language, their energy, how do they carry themselves in the facility.
There it is again, that word again, body language. You'll find there's a recurring theme in what Manny is talking about.
How do they show up on the ice? How do they behave in the room? How do they treat trainers and coaches and support staff? And I think you'll find that the best leaders, they may not be your best players, but they will be the guys that will set the table in terms of how you want the team to look and how you want your team to behave.
I absolutely love that answer from Manny.
All the things that you would expect a leader to be, it's about showing those things on the regular, not just lip service and talking about it.
Again, Manny's just saying all the right things. Just the fact that he says best leaders may not be your best players. I mean, obviously with Abbotsford, not that I'm saying Chase Waters isn't a good player at all, but he's not a well-known player, and he leads by example. And Brandon Astle, if we get him on, we'll maybe talk about Chase Waters as well, and he'll probably say the same things that Manny's just said about Waters. Now the next one. Oh crud! No. Oh, great. Here, we'll go over to this one. Canucks Army has someone here. But I did want to dive into forward, that is.
To answer your question, I have not spoken with him yet. And as I was saying before, with every player, my goal is to help him find his game. And we all know what he's capable of doing, the talent that he possesses, and the ability that he has on the ice. One of the things that I love most about coaching is finding that connection with players and finding what makes them tick and how to get the best out of them. So it's on myself and the staff to help him find his best game, and to be the player that we know he's capable of being.
Now, I know I keep saying I love that answer from Manny, and I don't think we've actually heard any of the previous coaches say that. Be like, my job is to help him. We have not heard that. So this is a bit of a breath of fresh air on the way they're going to handle it. I know I talked about in our Pettersson video how Ryan Johnson is kind of throwing out the tough love playbook. I do like, and yeah, like I said in that video, Canuck fans, some Canuck fans are probably not going to like it, but perhaps a different approach is the way to go. But that still means it does mean it is on PD. The ball is in his court, but I do like this approach from both Ryan Johnson and Manny. And that's just my own personal opinion on it. But I know a lot of you are probably wanting to get to this part. So here he actually talks about the idea of coaching his son Caleb if the Canucks do in fact draft him with the 3rd overall pick. So let's dive into this one.
It was a part of the conversations that we had prior to the hiring process. And I fully understand the story there, and I understand the positives and negatives of it. But with so many things I've learned, it's a bit of a fool's errand to plan out things that quite haven't happened yet. So if that situation were to happen, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But we've had a very clear understanding in my household that first and foremost, I am dad, who also happens to be a professional hockey coach. So when we are talking about hockey, there's a decision by my kids if they want to talk to dad or coach. So we will continue to have that rule in my house, and it's served us well as a family.
Now, Manny did say, now this was the first question about Caleb. There was a second one from Farhan Lalji. He did say that for the most part, when he talks about hockey with Caleb wants to talk to him as coach, not as dad. So that was also very interesting to hear Manny mention in this press conference. Let's see. This was this one, the high tempo one that I mentioned earlier that I wanted us to take a gander at. Let's play this one.
From a system standpoint, I think the teams that are structured in a way that the guys understand what is expected of them are usually the most successful. In terms of how we want to play, if you look around the NHL, the game's not getting any slower. So it's going to be a very up-tempo style game, high energy, high tempo. But when you look at the teams that I've coached and the way I want them to play, they are going to be very structured. They are going to be very intense, with a very high premium on execution and doing things the right way. That for me is the way I want it to look, and those things are going to be implemented on the daily again in practice. How do we practice? How hard do we practice? How intense are our practices? Will dictate a lot of how we're going to look on game night.
I love that. I know I keep saying that, but I'm very excited to hear or to see that the high energy, high tempo style. So there's that. I believe that is the last of the clip. Or no, this was the last one about rebuilding, or about rather coaching a rebuilding team. I found this quite interesting.
A big part of being a coach is understanding what's and stealing, if you will, different ideas and thoughts. When you look at different teams and how they've gone through it, number one, there's an understanding that there's going to be some tough times. And
100%.
when you acknowledge that, it makes things easier to go through it. Not to say that we are going to be accepting of those tough times. It's going to be
that part was very interesting to hear Manny say.
Within those times that we will see the character of our group. We will see what we're made of, and it'll teach us resiliency. It'll teach us how to turn things when they aren't quite going your way, and how to maintain that positive mindset and work through things. Excuse me. So yeah, I think the underlying message with all those teams that have gone through it is consistency and staying the course and believing in what you're doing and executing on those things on the daily.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with Manny. I do think this organization is, going things about the right way. They're not gonna stray from their path like previous regimes have. So I am all for this. That was the last clip. So we'll go back here. But at the end of the day, here, I'll take my headphones out now. But at the end of the day, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about Manny's first words as the new Canucks head coach? Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. And also, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. You can also subscribe to the Line Change. It's completely free. Also, you can join the Line Change, be a part of the Line Change community, and hit that join button. You get exclusive perks, members only videos, as well as early access to videos such as like this one. And of course, if you subscribe, you'll get more Canucks and draft related content. I got lots of draft stuff coming up, as well as more Canucks content. As I mentioned in a previous video, got some guests hopefully lined up soon. Very excited for that. But again, hit the like button, hit subscribe. And before I sign off, I'm going to give a big shout out and thank you to our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, which, as I always say, is an official sports betting partner of the NHL. The Stanley Cup playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, has a new customer offer. When the ice gets coldest, the best players in the world show you exactly who they are. Playoff warriors turn it up round by round, and DraftKings turns it up with them from the first round all the way to the Stanley Cup final. Bet player props, bet live from the opening faceoff to the final horn. Every moment matters. New DraftKings customers bet just $5 and you'll get $100 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN so you're ready for the moment. That's code THPN. Turn $5 into $100 in bonus bets instantly in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states, void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
Once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.